Shalom. This is your brother MALCHAAMAH from the Chicago GMS camp. And I'd like to give all glory, praises, and honor unto Yahweh Bashem Shai. Yahweh being the name of the Father, Yahweh Shai being the name of the Son. Alright, I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles of GMS, the true elders of the nation of Israel on earth today, that the head of that government which was set up on earth, okay? Because it does say in the book of 1 Corinthians that we shall judge the angels, man. The Israelites shall. So that's that, they're the head of that governing body which was set up here on earth as it is in heaven. So it has to be on earth too, just like it is in heaven. All right. And I'd like to say salutations to the Akim out there who are doing this work, pushing this truth and sincerity, risking their lives and freedoms to do so, whom are also a part of that governing body. Okay. So with that, there's a question that a sister had, a sincere question, a couple questions. And I'd like to answer her questions, and I'd like to say Salakia to anyone of you who've asked a question that and I haven't gotten to you. There's a lot of videos and a lot of stuff going on, and trying to keep up with everything, it's kind of hard to do sometimes, especially going back and watching my own videos, which I typically I only do when I get a message and there's someone responding to it, and I don't even know it's my video until I click on it and see the comment. So it's not like I just go back and watch my own videos. I don't, So Salakia once again to anyone that I was a little bit slow to responding to something. But her question was about the virgin birth. All right, getting an understanding on that there is no virgin birth, and there isn't, and it is actually a pretty simple thing. And then is there any remembrance? Will there be any remembrance of the former things when we go to the other side? Yeah, you will. You're gonna remember. That's how people are going to. You're gonna know how to judge the different nations and people when you come back. You're going to when you go to the other side, you will remember this side. For those of you who cross over whole, all right. Yahweh willing, all of us who are doing this work and who are listening and trying to live our best in captivity under the laws and statutes and commandments that are governed by these books which were left here on earth, through the power of Yahweh Bashem Shai. We want to make it on that first trip. All right. But anyway, let me just stop rambling and get right into the scriptures. All right. This is Ecclesiastes. This is Ecclesiastes 1, and I'm going to start at verse 9. The thing that have been is that thing which shall be, and that which is done, that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. So we've all been here, both the good and the wicked. Okay? We've all been here before. Okay? And there's really no new thing. I mean, devices, even the most like this equipment, this phone that I'm using, it wasn't necessarily a phone there per se, but there has been ways to communicate before, so that ideology is nothing new. It's been done before. All right. It says, verse 10, is there anything wherewith it may be said, see, this is new? It have been already of old time, which was before. So proving my point. Verse 11, there is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. So basically, when we lived these lives before in the past, all right, going through slavery, going through all the things that happen when you read in these books, when you come back again, you don't remember your past like that. There is something called deja vu, There will be things and people that you will feel like you've known your whole life, or that you definitely have had a connect. You will connect with certain people in a way that it's almost like clear to you that I've definitely had to have known this person before, you were with this person before, or something to that nature. That, you know, that sort of thing is true. But you having clear memories that this was the guy you were hanging out with, this was the dude you fought and died with, you know, this was the woman that you were with, you know, or you had many children with, or this was the woman that broke your heart, or whatever. You're not going to remember things like that, because you have to understand, man, the Lord is merciful. And if we remembered all our past lives, man, it's hard enough living in this one, especially this day and age. If you remembered all your past pain and things of that nature, you lose your mind, man. You go bat shit crazy. All right, you lose your mind. It's too difficult to live in this body, yet alone to deal with the issues from the last time around too. All right, you wouldn't be able to cope that. All right, so let's get into this this virgin birth. Okay, in the book of Matthew, the first chapter, it gives you the genealogy from man to man, from father to son. Okay, and so let's just get into that. Okay, it says, this is Matthew 1:1, the book of the generations of Yahushua HaMashiach, the son of David, the son of Abraham. So that proves your first point right there, your first question, that, you know, even those retards that you know, actually I kind of feel sorry for the brothers, but you know, somebody got to play the role of the 2/3, and I'm not trying to play that role, you know. But those dudes who went and did that sit down or interview with No Class Malone, man. All right, because this scripture is clear. It said, so how could Hamashiach, Yahushua, be the son of David and the son of Abraham? I mean, he had to have been before. Okay, and then the son of Abraham that was relevant, okay, was Isaac, because that's who you know, Jacob and Esau came out of, the two main characters in the Bible. Okay, and then David's son, which was relevant, was Solomon. All right, so you know that he had to have come from those lines. Okay, and those are the lines of men. All right, so when you go to for example, let's go to let me do this. I'm going to make this quick and simple. I don't want to make it a long, drawn-out lesson. I want to answer it fast. So this is because you notice it didn't mention his mother's line, even though it tells you that his mother also is a descendant of David. You know, her line goes back to David too on his mother's side. But your identity is through your father, not your man. Not the woman. It's through the man. This is Hebrews 7:14. All right, so it says, for it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, a tribe which Moses spake nothing of concerning priesthood. All right, so he sprang out of the loins of Judah. All right, let's go to the, it didn't say Judith, it said Judah. Okay, so he's out of the family line of Judah, who is the forefather of the tribe of Judah. He's directly out of that line. Okay, now let's go to Isaiah. The 11th chapter. Okay, yeah, Isaiah the 11th chapter. Verse 1. And it says, and there shall come forth a rod of the stem of Jesse. A stem is a root, the rod, a sperm line. Okay? And a branch that shall grow out of his roots. All right? So Jesse is the father of David. Jesse is also the offspring of Judah. All right? And it tells you that the Lord was the offspring of Judah. So that's a line of fathers down, all the way down from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right? Down to Judah, down to Yahushua. All right? Because men begot children. All right? women bear children. So you bear the children of the man that puts his seed into you, man. It's really that simple. All right. This is verse 10 in Isaiah 11. It says, and in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people, and to it shall the Gentiles seek, and rest shall be glorious. So that ensign is Yahushua, was the Lord. All right, and those Gentiles there, all right, are talking about, the scattered Israelites. Okay, that's what that's talking about first and foremost. Okay, because the heathens aren't seeking to Yahushua. Because he's a destroyer of the Gentiles. That would make that an oxymoron. Jeremiah 4:7 says he's a destroyer of the Gentiles. So it can't be talking about the heathen nations. All right. Okay. Now let's go to from there. Wait, let me just look at something. I wrote something down, and I'm just going to read out of Wisdom of Solomon, the 7th chapter, which is the end all be all. But I want to just check something that I wrote just to see why I wrote that. Just bear with me for a moment. Yeah, why did I write that? Well, I guess I could read that, okay? Because it kind of answers both. It's talking about Yahushua, yet it's talking about reincarnation, okay? Him being that he didn't come from a woman. There's no virgin birth, right? His father Joseph is also in that lineage that's mentioned in Matthew, and Joseph is out of the line of David, okay? Mary is actually out of the line of David through David's son Nathan, not Solomon. So that would screw everything up. So that's proof within itself that, I remember that. David's son Nathan is the line that Mary came out of. All right. Joseph came out of Solomon's line. All right. Out of King David's line. It's his son Solomon. Okay, this is Job 19, I'm going to read 25 and 26. It says, for I know that my Redeemer liveth, all right, and that he shall stand at the latter day upon earth. These are also scriptures that's talking about Yahushua in the Old Testament, in which there are plenty of them. Okay, this is just yet one of them. All right, and though after my skin worms destroy this body, yet in my flesh shall I see that power. He's going to see the Lord, man. So Job knew that means Job had to come back. How's worms going to destroy his skin, but yet he gets to see the Lord? Why? Because his body got put into the earth. All right, his spirit went to the spirit world, but his body descended and saw corruption. That his body, because these bodies are corrupt. All right, if I died today, my body would get buried or whatever would happen to it, and it would see corruption. But my spirit is going to go back to the spirit world. It's as simple as that, man. All right. So that proves the reincarnation point again. All right. And now going back to there's no virgin birth. Wisdom of Solomon truly is the end all be all on that scripture. I mean, I could go longer and longer, but I don't, I want to keep this short. I don't want to make it too long. But it says, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1. All right. I'm sorry, Salakia, chapter 7, verse 1. I also myself am a mortal man, like to all the offspring of him that was first made of earth. Okay. All right. That would be Adam. John 1:1 said, and the and beginning there was the Word, and the Word became flesh. All right. Simple as that. All right. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man, and the pleasure that came with sleep. Now remember, this is King Solomon himself, who is Yahushua. King Solomon being the wisest king that Israel had ever seen. Okay. All right. So the king of Israel wrote these words, and he was blessed with wisdom, the wisest man of all of Israel. Okay. And these are his words. Okay. Verse 3. And when I was born, I drew in common air and fell upon the earth, which is of like nature, and the first voice which I uttered was crying, as all others do. Because that's what babies do. That's how you know they're alive. They're not stillborn. You know, as soon as they breathe in air, they start crying. One of the things I always say is that they start crying because they back in this place again. They're not in the kingdom, man. All right. I was nursed in swaddling clothes, and that with cares. Okay. And if you go to Luke, the 2nd chapter, the 20, you know what? I'll get it real quick. Let me just go ahead and get it. Because there's a law on when a male child is born and what's to be done with an Israelite when a woman has received seed and given birth to the seed of a man. So this is Luke 21, 2. And 21 to, 21 through 24, real quick. It says, Luke 2 and 21. And when 8 days were accomplished for the circumcision of the child, his name was called Yahushua, which was so named of the angel before he was conceived in the womb. Conceived means you were shot into your mother's womb via sperm. Your mother's womb is just like, you know, it's the egg, the mother's womb is the place where the sperm is surrounded and compacted and allowed to grow. Simple as that. Okay, you can't have one without the other. All right, so there's no virgin birth, man. You have the woman conceives seed. A man goes on into her. It should be a pleasurable experience for them both. All right, and at the end, the result of that is that they bring forth a male or female child. All right, and this is the law on what's done when it's a male child. So if it was a virgin birth, there would have been no need for this law. Okay, so that kills that too. It says, and when the 8 days, verse 22, and when the 8 days of her purification according to the law of Moses were accomplished, they brought him to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. As it is written in the law of Yahweh, every male that openeth the womb shall be called holy to the Lord. All right. And matter of fact, that's you can find that in Exodus, I believe, 13 and 1. And it says, and offer a sacrifice according to that which is said in the law of Yahweh. All right. A pair of turtle doves and 2 young pigeons. Okay. So there was no virgin birth. Because why? She conceived seed. This is a law that's done when a woman has conceived seed. Now, going back to Wisdom of Solomon. All right. I was at verse, I'll just read 4 again. And I was nursed in swaddling clothes, and that with cares. For there is no king that had any other beginning of birth. For all men have interest into life and the light going out. So we come into the earth you're shot out of your father's loins into a woman's womb, and from that point, if the Lord blesses you to live, you're going to be born within 10 months from that time period. All right. So there is no virgin birth, sister. So with that, I would like to say, all praise and glory be unto Yahushua. Salutation to you, Akim, who are listening and learning, and and hey, we're close. We're close, Israel. Keep your head up. Stay in those scriptures. Shalom.